Let's talk Man United, who want players out of the door. Any progress on the 5 they want to get rid of?
No significant progress. We know that there's a lot of interest in Jadon Sancho. There has been an offer lodged to Manchester United with regards to him from Roma. We understand that offer to be £20 million. Manchester United currently considering he has just 1 year left on his current contract. Nothing for Antony, nothing for Tyrell Malacia. The information on Rasmus Højlund, we know that AC Milan are interested in signing him and Borussia Dortmund as well. His stance a couple of weeks ago was, I want to stay at Old Trafford and fight for my place. However, that's changed. He would be open to going to AC Milan, so that's basically opened the doors for them. Right, do a deal with Manchester United, and I'm willing to come to you.
Right, okay. United, Mark. Goalkeeping is something that's been spoken about there as well. Have they sorted their situation or not?
Goalkeepers is a position that Manchester United have been looking at this summer, but their focus was on 2 10s and a striker. Ruben Amorim completely wanted to revolutionise that front 3 at Manchester United. He wants to play with a different style to what historically they've done, and they've gone out and got the players to do that. Their main focus now is to try and generate some money and sell some players from those players that are not going to be involved directly in the squad. And we spoke about it at 5 o'clock. There's a number of players like Antony, Tyrell Malacia, Rasmus Højlund that are all going to be heading to the Manchester United Old Trafford exit door. However, there is still this big question mark about Andre Onana and whether or not they need to go and sign a goalkeeper to potentially challenge him or potentially replace him. He's been injured over the course of pre-season, so not played a great deal, which is another issue. And of course, Manchester United have to be conscious about what they spend financially with regards to PSR as well. So they're focused very much on generating some income to enable them maybe then to go and look at other positions they'd like to strengthen.
Asmir, Andre Onana gets a lot of stick, gets criticised a lot. Do United this season improve if he's still in their goal?
No, I think so. I think because, one, he's going to be more familiar with Ruben Amorim's system and the way he wants him to play. I think another year, Man United is getting used to the situation. But I think if we're talking about Donnarumma in this case and being able to bring him in, I think it's an upgrade. And, you know, these things don't come up every day. So maybe it's an opportunity they feel like it's too good to pass up. But I think Andre Onana, once he gets back fit, it's a shame when you miss pre-season. I think with the new manager having a full pre-season, I think it can be a very, very important thing. So for him to miss pre-season is probably very, very unlucky. But again, I think if you can bring a caliber of Donnarumma into your building, then I think it's something Man United need to look into.
God, Man United fans loving you as we go into this break. Right, what should we call them? We're going to call them the Fire Sale 5. Right, Mark? Developments on Jadon Sancho today. What's happened?
Yes, significant developments with regards to this one. We know that Manchester United want to get rid of these 5 players. Jadon Sancho into the last year of his Old Trafford contract, and there has been an offer lodged to Manchester United from Serie A side, Roma. Manchester United are currently considering the offer and deciding what they want to do. We know that there is interest from Borussia Dortmund as well, and we know that Jadon Sancho is on big money, so therefore, A, they want to get rid of him, they want to try and recoup back as much as they possibly can. He's on big wages as well, so that is one of the issues there. But yeah, that's the latest with regards to Jadon Sancho.
And what about the others? Any movement on any of the other 4?
No, Antony, £80 million worth of investment, still at Manchester United. Again, another one on big wages, on loan at Real Betis. No formal offers as of yet. No other clubs really at the table, but Real Betis would love to take him. However, unfortunately, they can't afford him at the moment. We know that Rasmus Højlund, another player of interest to a number of Serie A clubs, AC Milan are the ones at the minute that are closest to potentially getting a deal done. His stance, I want to stay at Old Trafford, I want to play, I want to prove myself, and I want to get myself in that team. But at the minute, still talks ongoing. Looks like a lack of minutes is going to be his issue, so he's almost being forced, out of the club. Garnacho, Chelsea, it feels like it's only a matter of time before this one happens, but Chelsea just have to be a little bit clever with how much they spend compared to how much they receive and sell players on for. But we know that the talks continue. Tyrell Malacia, unfortunately, Tyrell Malacia fans, I can't say anything positive. There will be interest. It'll end up going somewhere, but at the minute, we don't know of anyone at the table.
I'm just hearing something from the producer that Højlund is open to a move to Milan now. We're just hearing that, Sky Italy reporting that, which is interesting.
Yeah, well,
he's read the rooms.
He's read the room. He's not going to get any game time. When you don't play minutes, for example, Jack Grealish not going to the Club World Cup for Man City, that's like them basically saying, thanks, Jack, but we don't want you. Go and explore your options. Same for him. Lack of game time over the course of pre-season, and maybe recently he's decided, look, I just need to go and play games. That's going to be key.
Right, I want to rattle through this. You touched on this earlier. Let's talk Tottenham.
Rasmus Højlund, because he trained yesterday, but he's been told by Manchester United that he can leave and go and play elsewhere. How is this likely to play out?
Well, AC Milan have held positive talks with United around the signing of Højlund. As yet, there's no agreement between the clubs. Højlund himself has still yet to decide if AC Milan is the right move for him or any move whatsoever is the right thing for him to do, because he's spoken frequently over the course of pre-season about wanting to fight for his place at Manchester United. We understand Milan are speaking to Højlund's representatives to find out if he'll be open to joining Manchester United before proceeding with trying to thrash out a deal with United. Milan would prefer a loan with an option to buy. United would want to do a permanent deal, or at least have a permanent element attached to a loan deal. We understand they consider offers of around £40 million. For what it's worth, what I think United would have loved to do if they weren't in a financial situation where they need to recoup money in terms of sales is give him the opportunity to go out on loan somewhere this season, because there is a real player there. We've not quite seen it in terms of goals, but there have been glimpses that this is a striker that could go on to be a really, really top striker in Europe. There's a reason why United signed him 2 years ago for around £70 million, because they've seen the potential there. That potential is still there, and actually he's excelled in European competitions, did really well in the Champions League the season before last. You just think, if he has a year playing at a club like AC Milan and then comes back to United readdress the situation. If United are in Europe next season, maybe they will need two strikers in the form of Šeško and Rasmus Højlund. I think there would be regrets if he goes permanently, because I do think he will go on and be a superstar somewhere else. I know that's a bold claim based on what he's done at the 2 years at United, but I do think there's a player there. There's not many number 9s, as we've learnt in this transfer window. That is why it costs so much to sign proven number 9s. I do think he needs a year of football where he is the number 9, which he won't be given this season at United. But I do think because of the situation United are in, having spent more money than they probably thought they would heading into this transfer window, there does need to be one or two big sales, just so they can stay within the rules when it comes to profit and sustainability. Because yes, the deadline is the 30th of June next summer to fit within the rules, but clearly this is the best window for sales, because you don't want to be leaving it until January, and you do not want to be leaving it until the start of next transfer window to get your business done before the 30th of June, when every club knows that you need to make sales to fit within the rules.
Yeah, and well, that's the issue for Manchester United. It's not just Højlund, is it? There's a number of players, including, of course, Jadon Sancho, who they're still trying to find a home for. He doesn't seem like he's got a future at Manchester United, but what are his options at the moment?
It looks like there's a few options on the table, nothing concrete as of yet, as things stand. It'd be nice when we don't have to talk about Jadon Sancho's future anymore, won't it? Because it feels like it's been a saga that's dragged on ever since he's been at Manchester United. But Besiktas are a club that have shown interest in signing him. Their club president is quoted as saying they'll do their best to sign him if Sancho wants to join. And once he emerged as a potential target, Besiktas fans, they've been voting with their thumbs on social media, because they've been leaving more than 5 million comments on his latest Instagram post demanding Jadon Sancho come to Besiktas, come and join us. Borussia Dortmund remain interested, no agreement there. There has been reports in the Times that Roma have submitted a bid to sign Sancho on loan. We know there has been interest from clubs in Italy and Saudi Arabia. United, as they want to do with Rasmus Højlund, would prefer a permanent deal, and it's more pressing with Jadon Sancho because his contract runs out next summer. There is the option of extending that by a further 12 months. The danger with that being, do you want to commit yourself to being in this situation again next summer, paying those wages for another season? So I don't think the possibility of a loan can be ruled out. But as far as United are concerned, he's not going to be playing for them this season. I know Ruben Amorim said that players will be reintegrated if their market value is not met. I don't think that's going to be the case with Jadon Sancho. I think they're hoping that somebody gets hold of Jadon Sancho this summer and they can end what has been a fairly unsavoury chapter. We started in 2021 with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager. He's now the manager of Besiktas, they being one of the clubs interested in signing him.
Yeah, interesting little plot twist that. Man United have spent over £200 million pretty much all on attacking players, haven't they? So you look at their squad and you think there's probably still a few more holes that they could fill. Do you think that midfield is likely to be the next top priority?
It looks like that would be the next thing on the list for United. Christian Eriksen departed in the summer at the end of his contract, so there's a space in the squad for him. Clearly, Casemiro, how much has he got left in the tank? He actually showed a bit of a renaissance at the back end of last season when it did look like potentially his time at the very top level would come to an end, but he did well to put himself back into contention. For United, the priority is sales, but if they can get themselves in a situation where they know they're going to make the sales, then if a market opportunity presents itself to sign a player like Carlos Baleba, then they will look to act upon that. I do think this is a really, really difficult deal for United to do. I don't think at this moment in time it's going to be possible for United to do that. A, because they are struggling right now to get the money they need to be compliant and ensure they're well set to go after another player, because they've still got the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Jadon Sancho, Antony still there, Tyrell Malacia too, and Rasmus Højlund. They need to have sales before they can really attack a real transfer like Carlos Baleba. And Brighton, we know how hard it's going to be to deal with Brighton, because they sold Moises Caicedo for £115 million. I'm not saying that's what they'll ask for Carlos Baleba, but if you ask Brighton fans, they'll say Baleba is maybe slightly further ahead in his development than Caicedo was when he's departed for Chelsea. So you can see the sort of figures that Brighton will want. And at this moment in time, United surely aren't in a situation where they can be that aggressive with the bidding for Carlos Baleba. I think they're aware there's a number of issues with the United squad. Centre midfield,